Good morning, students. Today we are going to study another chapter, Anatomy of Flowering Plants. This is a class 11th chapter in biology. So we are going to study this chapter. Now let me tell you what are the important things which we have to discuss in this chapter as such. First we will be discussing about various kind of tissues. Various kind of tissues which are present in plants. That means we are going to study about the anatomical features which is present internally. In the previous chapter we have discussed about the morphological features of the plants. Here we are going to discuss about the anatomical features of the plants. First we will be discussing about the various kind of tissues. Then we will be discussing about the internal features of dicot and monocot plants, and finally we will be discussing about their secondary growth. That means we will be studying about the tissues, we will be studying about the internal features of dicot plants, stem, roots and leaves, then internal features of monocot plants, stem, roots and leaves, and then the last part is of secondary growth. Now the question arises, why this chapter is important? See, evolutionary, if you see, you can differentiate whether suppose two plants are present and internal features of these two plants are very different, then evolutionary you can say that these two plants may not have arise from similar ancestors. And if suppose two plants are very similar in their internal features, then you can say that these two plants may their common ancestor may be same. The two plants may have a common ancestor. So that is the difference. That means this chapter is actually linked with evolution also. With the help of this chapter, you will come to know various internal parts of the plants, morphological features you have studied. You will be able to differentiate between the two plants, and with this knowledge if suppose two plants are given and their internal features are given, you can say whether it is a dicot plant or whether it is a monocot plant and how much features of these two plants are similar or different. So that is the main motive, or you can say the main objective of this chapter. Okay, let us start with this chapter. First of all, I will tell you something about internal features or anatomy. The internal features of plants, when we study about the internal features, it is called as anatomy. Now let us talk about tissues, which you have already studied in junior classes as such. Tissues are the group of similar cells having with structural similarity, and maybe their functions may be same, are called as tissues. Okay, now in case of plants, there are regions which continuously grow. There are certain regions which continuously grow, like for example tip of the shoot, tip of the roots. These are the regions which do not stop growing, they continuously grow, and in these regions are actually called as meristems. These regions are called as meristems because here certain cells are present which have not lost the property of division, they continuously divide and form new cells. Cell division continuously occur in these regions. These are tip of shoots, roots. Here these meristems are located. Now, according to their location, the meristems have been categorized into apical meristem, intercalary meristem. According to their location as well as their appearance in a plant, whether it is appearing very early in the plant's life or whether they are appearing at a later stage of their plant life, they have been categorized into apical, intercalary and secondary or lateral meristem. Secondary or lateral meristem. Now, this is actually the categorization of meristem as such. Apical meristem, they are basically present at the tip of shoots and roots. They are the main cells, main tissues which are responsible for growth of the plant. Apical meristem located at the tips. So these are responsible for elongation and growth of the plant parts. Okay, now let us talk about intercalary meristem. Before that, I would like to tell you something about some other things. For example, in the apical region, in the shoot tip region, there are certain regions when the shoot elongates, there are certain regions which are left out. Now these left out regions have axillary bud. Axillary bud are situated at the axil of a leaf, suppose in this region, axil of a leaf. Now this axillary bud is responsible for either giving rise to, this is the axillary bud in the axil of a leaf, axillary buds. These are responsible for giving rise to either branches or flowers. Now there are certain cells which are situated in the in between the mature cells, that means those cells which have lost the property of division. There are certain meristematic cells left, for example, and those parts where these meristematic cells are left, they are situated in between the mature tissue or cells. This type of meristem is called as intercalary meristem. For example, in the grasses, you know the herbivores eat the grasses. Now the parts of the grasses which regenerate after being eaten up by the herbivores is actually due to intercalary meristem. That is, the regenerated part of the grass is due to intercalary meristem, which are situated in between the mature cells. I mean to say, mature cells का मतलब ये है, those cells which have lost the property of cell division and they have acquired a permanent function. क्या होते हैं बेटा, जो सेल्स शुरुआत में जो नए सेल डिवीजन के बाद दे आर बॉर्न, दे हैव द प्रॉपर्टी ऑफ सेल डिवीजन. उनमें प्रॉपर्टी होती है कि वो अपने आप को डिवाइड करके दो नए सेल बना लें. लेकिन क्या होता है, समय के साथ there are certain cells which lose the property of cell division. ये मान लो एक सेल ने लूज कर दी अपनी प्रॉपर्टी सेल डिवीजन की, तो ये एक सेल रहेगा, इट विल कंटिन्यू टू डिवाइड एंड वन विल लूज द प्रॉपर्टी ऑफ सेल डिवीजन. जब कोई सेल अपनी प्रॉपर्टी को लूज कर देता है सेल डिवीजन की, तो वो इलोंगेट होने लगता है, चौड़ा होने लगता है, उसकी साइज इंक्रीज करने लगती है, एंड आफ्टर सम टाइम दे विल डाई. तो सेल्स व्हेन दे आर बोर्न, firstly they have the meristematic property and afterwards they lose the meristematic property. तो जिन सेल्स में सेल डिवीजन की प्रॉपर्टी होती है उनको हम एपिकल मेरिस्टेम कहते हैं, और जो सेल्स समय के साथ अपनी प्रॉपर्टी लूज कर देते हैं उनको फिर फाइनली हम परमानेंट सेल्स कहते हैं. वो परमानेंट टिश्यूज में हम आगे पढ़ेंगे. तो इंटरकैलरी मेरिस्टेम वहाँ सिचुएटेड है जहाँ आसपास परमानेंट सेल्स हैं, यानी कि जिनका एक पर्टिकुलर फंक्शन है, जैसे कि पैरेन्काइमा, कोलेनकाइमा और स्क्लेरेन्काइमा, जिसके बारे में हम लोग आगे पढ़ेंगे परमानेंट टिश्यूज में. वहाँ पे ये लोकेटेड होते हैं. और रीजनरेटेड पार्ट्स, जो ग्रास, जो हर्बीवोर्स हैं, जिन पार्ट्स को ग्रास के खा जाते हैं, उसको फिर से रीजनरेट करते हैं. दे आर रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर रीजनरेटिंग द पार्ट्स ऑफ द ग्रास. ओके, now both of these two meristem appear very early in the life of a plant and therefore they are called as primary meristem. यही वजह है इसको हम क्या बोलते हैं, प्राइमरी मेरिस्टेम. And they are responsible for, these primary meristem are responsible for the growth of the primary plant body. They are responsible for the growth of the primary plant body. So let us talk about secondary or lateral meristem. वहाँ जो दिया हुआ है secondary और lateral meristem. Now these appear late in the life of a plant. जब प्लांट में ऑलरेडी परमानेंट टिश्यूज फॉर्म हो चुके होते हैं बहुत सारे रीजन्स में, तब सेकेंडरी और लैटरल मेरिस्टेम अपीयर होते हैं. ना इसमें होता यह है कि जो सेल्स अपने फंक्शन को लूज कर देते हैं, नाउ दे हैव एक्वायर्ड अ डेफिनेट फंक्शन, दो सेल्स कैन ऑल्सो अगेन those cells can regain the property of meristematic cells. That means they can regain the property of cell division. और सेकेंडरी और उन्हीं सेल्स को हम बोलते हैं सेकेंडरी और लैटरल मेरिस्टेम. मतलब एक पर्टिकुलर फंक्शन होने के बावजूद वो दोबारा अपनी प्रॉपर्टी को रिगेन कर लेते हैं कुछ सेल्स. तो ये जो प्रॉपर्टी है जहाँ पे वो अपने सेल्स को, जो परमानेंट सेल्स हैं, वो दोबारा मेरिस्टेमेटिक सेल्स में कन्वर्ट हो जाते हैं, उस तरह के टिश्यूज को हम सेकेंडरी और लैटरल मेरिस्टेम्स में रखते हैं. एंड दे आर इन्वॉल्व इन ग्रोथ ऑफ पिथ, चौड़ाई जो प्लांट की बढ़ती है, उसके लिए ये सेकेंडरी और लैटरल मेरिस्टेम रिस्पॉन्सिबल है. कहने का मतलब ये है एपिकल मेरिस्टेम और इंटरकैलरी मेरिस्टेम जो है बहुत पहले अपीयर होते हैं, और ये प्राइमरी प्लांट बॉडी, ग्रोथ ऑफ द प्राइमरी प्लांट बॉडी के लिए रिस्पॉन्सिबल है, जबकि सेकेंडरी और लैटरल मेरिस्टेम जो है वो काफ़ी लेट में अपीयर होते हैं, और वो किसी भी प्लांट के पिथ को, उसके डायमीटर को, उसकी चौड़ाई को बढ़ाते हैं. तो secondary or lateral meristem are actually responsible for fascicular vesicular cambium, for the formation of fascicular vesicular cambium, vascular cambium for the formation of cork etc. कहने का मतलब ये है, ये डायमीटर के लिए रिस्पॉन्सिबल होते हैं, लेट अपीयर होते हैं, प्लांट की ग्रिथ को बढ़ाते हैं यानी कि उसकी चौड़ाई को बढ़ाते हैं। और इस केस में सेकेंडरी और लैटरल मेरिस्टेम्स के केस में जो सेल्स ऑलरेडी परमानेंट फंक्शन एक्वायर कर लेते हैं वो दोबारा रीडिफ्रेंशिएट होके अपने मेरिस्टेमेटिक नेचर को एक्वायर करते हैं और फिर प्लांट की ग्रोथ को यानी कि उसकी चौड़ाई को बढ़ाते हैं। ये आप दिस इज ऑल अबाउट मेरिस्टेमेटिक टिश्यूज। इन द नेक्स्ट लेक्चर विल बी टॉकिंग अबाउट द परमानेंट टिश्यूज। वहाँ पे क्या होता है, द मेरिस्टेमेटिक सेल्स नाउ व्हेन दे एक्वायर after some time they lose the property of cell division, they acquire a new function, they start elongating, and then we'll be studying about permanent tissues. Permanent tissues can be made up of same kind of cells, that is called as simple tissues. They may be formed of more than one cells, that is called as complex tissues. तो सिंपल टिश्यूज में हम लोग अगली बार इन द नेक्स्ट टॉपिक वी विल स्टडी अबाउट पेरेन्काइमा, कोलेन्काइमा एंड स्क्लेरेन्काइमा। ये सिर्फ एक ही तरह के सेल्स के बने होते हैं, तभी इनका नाम सिंपल परमानेंट टिश्यूज रखा गया है। जबकि जब हम लोग कॉम्प्लेक्स टिश्यूज पढ़ेंगे तो उसमें हम कॉम्प्लेक्स टिश्यूज में जाइलम और फ्लोएम के बारे में पढ़ेंगे। आपको हम बता दें, इन द प्रीवियस क्लासेस you must have read about xylem and phloem only, but actually xylem and phloem both are categorized into 4 different kind of cells having different functions, and that is the reason why they are called as complex permanent tissues. So we'll be studying about this in the next lecture. I hope you are understanding what I am trying to tell you. Thank you and have a very nice day.